Good afternoon. Welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Uyo, I am Bright James. We begin this afternoon with the reports that the Akwa Ibom State Executive Council has approved the draft estimates for the state's 2023 Appropriation Bill. The Governing Council, Emmanuel, gave the approval during an expanded Executive Council meeting at the state's Government House, Uyo. Briefing Government House correspondent after the meeting, the Commissioner for Finance, Linus Nkan, said the approval was given after an extensive deliberation by members of the Council following the presentation of the draft estimates.
The estimate of 2023 revenue and expenditure was presented by the Honorable Commissioner for Finance to the enlarged ESCO. And at the end of it all, members of the enlarged ESCO were satisfied with the presentation and they approved that the estimate be forwarded to the House of Assembly for their processes.
Government House correspondent Jane Owa reports that can therefore affirm the readiness of the State Executive Council to present the draft estimates to the State House of Assembly for further ratification within the week. In politics, former Vice President and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has pledged to rescue Nigeria from its current challenges, including insecurity and poverty, if elected president of Nigeria in 2023. Speaking during the official flag-off of the presidential campaign at the Nest of Champions in Uyo, Atiku, who commended Governor Domimano for his achievements recorded under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, stressed that Udom's performance is an example of good governance. He decried the current state of situation in the country, which has led to undesirable outcomes, adding that PDP is determined to change the narrative if elected to power. The former vice president further thanked the governor for the successful hosting of the official flag-off of the campaign.
Nigeria wants to be like Akwa Ibom. You know why? Because since 1999, you have not changed party. And you can see the development that is taking place here in Akwa Ibom. You can see the prosperity that is taking place in Akwa Ibom. You can see the security that is available in Akwa Ibom. So the rest of Nigeria will like to be like Akwa Ibom. Therefore, we want to dedicate the launching of this campaign to the achievements of the Akwa Ibom PDP in good governance.
Earlier, the chairman of the Presidential Campaign Council and governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udomi Mano, had said the party was on course to rescue Nigerians out of its present predicament. He therefore urged Akwa Ibom people to support the party on its rescue mission agenda.
Our times will now forgotten. When PDP handed over power, the exchange rate was 186 naira to the dollar. Today, the exchange rate is almost 800 naira to the dollar. When PDP handed over power, Nigeria has the largest economy in the entire Africa. Today, all those indices have been battered. And so today, what the flag of the hope for Nigerians? What the flag of the rescue mission to Nigerians? What the flag of the restoration move to Nigerians? What the day Nigerians, the ship is beginning to sail. What the day Nigerians, the train is moving, that all Nigerians are expected to take.
Government House correspondent Genoa reports that the high point of the event was the presentation of the party flag by the national chairman of the party, Senator Iyochayu, to the presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. While the event attracted former Vice President Namadi Sambo, Vice Presidential candidate and Governor of Delta State Ifeanyi Okowa, governors of Adamawa, Sokoto, Taraba, Edo, Bayelsa and Bauchi, as well as stakeholders of the party, amongst other dignitaries. Meanwhile, the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for 2023 general election, Atiku Abubakar says he will work with the traditional institution in the country to ensure peace and stability in the nation. Abubakar gave the commitment when he paid homage to members of the Akwa Ibom State's Traditional Council before the official flag-off of the PDP presidential campaign in the state, acknowledging the hospitality associated with the Akwa Ibom people and thanked the traditional fathers for the warm reception accorded him and his campaign team.
On behalf of our entourage
We feel extremely honored for the opportunity to pay our courteous call to this very historic traditional institution. We appreciate your welcome. We already know how warm and friendly the people of Akwa Ibom State are. This is a known fact in this country. They are some of the most hospitable people in our country. We appreciate your welcome, and we also want to assure you of our respect, particularly of the traditional institution, and our preparedness to work with you to ensure peace and stability in our great country.
On his part, the President State Traditional Rulers Council and Okwibo Mibibio Ntenyen Solomon Eto, while receiving the Atiko Koa campaign team, advised politicians across political divide to ensure peaceful campaigns throughout the electioneering period. He appealed that the winner of next year's presidential election should ensure the rehabilitation of major roads in the geopolitical zones and for concerted efforts to ensure that security is improved in the nation.
We are royal fathers. Our duty is very simple and explicit. Ours is to bless. At all times we bless. Whichever political party visits us, we receive and bless and advise. Our major problem is the road linking other states. And I appeal to the presidential candidate and all of you that when you scale through these hurdles, please don't forget us and the roads in our various geopolitical zones. Because right now we are having serious challenges in reaching out to other states. The road networks are terrible. The security system is terrible. The beauty of this country is when we connect with other states.
Government House correspondent Jane Owa reports that, setting the tone for the brief meeting, the chairman PDP Presidential Campaign Council and host Governor Dom Emmanuel said the campaign team was at the traditional rulers' chambers to accord respect to custodians of customs and traditions in the state.
So there's no how we could have flagged off our campaign without coming for the blessing of our traditional fathers. The voice of the fathers are the voice of the Almighty. Since on that note, we need your blessing as we undertake this journey, and thank God we are flagging it off right in your domain. We know that your blessing will go a long way to clear the way so that we pick victory come February and March 2023.
Away from that, as International Day of the Girl Child is celebrated today with the theme, Our Time is Now, Our Rights, Our Future. A case has been made for the Nigerian girl child to be provided with the requisite skills and the opportunities to help them become change makers who will drive progress in their communities. Speaking with Planners News, a former Nigerian Bar Association NBA chairman Uyo Branch Barrister Enobo Akwan harped on the significance of the theme and how it calls for the girl child to be empowered to thrive.
My appraisal of the theme for the year, Our Time is Now, Our Right, Our Future, is that it is suitable and relevant to the girl child in Nigeria. Nigerian girls, like other girls around the globe, are ready for a decade of acceleration forward. The Nigerian girl child is joining other girls around the globe to proclaim aloud that her time is now. Time for equality in order to secure a good future. Time to be accorded due recognition as a human being with inherent rights. Time to speak against every form of bias and discrimination. Therefore, the Nigerian girl child must be given the requisite skills and the opportunities to help them become change makers who will drive progress in their communities.
Barrister Akwan agreed that the issues of prevalence of girl-child abuses is still a factor in the land that must continually be accorded the urgency it commands.
In Nigeria, the prevalence of sexual abuse is alarming. It is almost a daily occurrence. These offenses are now being described as a silent epidemic among the toddler, adolescent, and even old population. Like many similar stories, the most recent story of a girl who was abused by the father and uncle are extremely disheartening, to say the least. To think that these abuses still persist in our communities is very worrisome. Unfortunately, girls continue to be vulnerable to gender-based violence as many rape cases remain unreported. Many victims are unwilling to speak about it because of the stigma fueled by the culture of silence, where victims are expected to remain silent in the face of an atrocious crime like rape. I would like to recommend that we must collectively help to amplify the voice of the voiceless by sensitizing, creating awareness and enlightening members of the public about gender-based violence. Rape victims must be encouraged to name perpetrators.
The International Day of the Girl Child focuses attention on the need to address the challenges girls face and to promote girls' empowerment and the fulfillment of their human rights. To the national scene now, where Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said that Nigeria has the requisite talents, creativity and acumen to become a world leader in the digital economy. The Vice President made the comment at the Nigeria Digital Economy Summit NDES themed Web 3.0 Blockchain and DeFi Impact of Africa's Digital Economy. Osinbajo highlighted the future of technology, digital economy and what it means globally, but especially for Nigeria.
We have the talent, we have the creativity, and we have the acumen to build and grow major tech companies. At the last count, I think we have about 6 unicorns, and there are so many on the way. But we must spend time on the development of digital skills, and that is so important.
The Vice President urged the nation to use the right approach and policy to harness its human capital and potential. Osinbajo recalled when people did not have phones, they could not take advantage of the reach telecommunication gave digital innovation and financial inclusion. He said that the opportunity has now come, especially to the youth, to make a change.
Even central banks all over the world have to think their roles with the sheer number of people going to universities every year that we are going to be building brick and mortar universities in the next 10, 20 years. Impossible. We must develop appropriate policies, regulations that promote rather than inhibit innovation and commerce. We can be world leaders in the Web3 revolution. The only limit is our vision.
The Vice President called for more synergy between governments and the private sector in driving the digital economy revolution. Osinbajo added that both sectors must find ways to ensure policy is way ahead for development. In education, the President of the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASUU, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, has said that the union will soon call off its 8-month-old strike. Osodeke said this at a meeting with the leadership of the House of Representatives in Abuja. According to him, the outcome of the meeting showed that there is light at the end of the tunnel. He further hoped that the intervention by the leadership of the House would be the final for the sake of the students, adding that ASUU's struggle was for the educational and university system in the country.
For the first time since our show started, we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel. But this is the first time we are having such a thing that I hope this time around there will not be any attempt by any possible group to create something that will also make us run into anything again. That this will be the final.
Osodeke added that Nigerian universities should also be paid in hard currencies for attracting foreign students, while expressing worry over some good lecturers that were leaving the country. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio, 101.1 FM. You'll take a breather and then bring more stories from our foreign sports and entertainment scenes. To stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway, awareness for healthy choices.
Thanks for staying with us. Now on the foreign scene, thousands of Haitians have demonstrated in Port-au-Prince to protest against the government and its call for foreign assistance to deal with endemic insecurity, a humanitarian crisis, and a burgeoning cholera epidemic. Recall that a day after UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for more immediate deployment of a special international armed force in Haiti to help the crisis-hit Caribbean state. The demonstration in the capital was marred by violence, with police using tear gas to disperse looters. Reports say Haiti has been the scene for several weeks of violent demonstrations and looting after the announcement by the head of government of an increase in fuel prices. In sports, Liverpool forward Luis Diaz is set to be sidelined until after the World Cup due to any injury. Diaz suffered the injury during the first half of Liverpool's 3-2 defeat at Arsenal in the Premier League. The 25-year-old Colombian left the Emirates Stadium on crutches with his knee in a brace. Scans have revealed Diaz does not require surgery, but it has been reported the injury will keep him out of action until after the World Cup, which starts on November 20. Diaz will miss at least 10 matches for young club's struggling side, who are 14 points behind Premier League leaders Arsenal. It is another blow for Liverpool, as Diaz has emerged an influential figure since joining from Porto in January. He will hope to return to action by the time the Premier League resumes in December after the World Cup. Now, on the entertainment scene, former Big Brother Niger housemate Rico Suave has been involved in a ghastly motor accident. His colleague Alex made this known in a tweet on her Twitter page. Alex, who called for prayers, stated that Rico was in a critical stage and doctors are battling to save his life. It's been the news on Planet Radio on 101.1 FM. Oyo, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. In the news we told you, ASUU's National President Prof. Emmanuel Osodeke said that the union will soon call off its 8-month-old strike. The Akwa Ibom State Executive Council approved the draft estimates for the state's 2023 Appropriation Bill. We also brought news that as the International Day of the Girl Child is celebrated today with the theme, "Our time is now, our rights, our future." A case has been made for the Nigerian girl child to be provided with the requisite skills and the opportunities to help them become change makers who will drive progress in their communities. On the foreign scene, we told you that thousands of Haitians have demonstrated in Port-au-Prince to protest against the government and its call for assistance to deal with endemic insecurity, a humanitarian crisis, and a cholera epidemic. In sports, reported that Liverpool forward Luis Diaz is set to be sidelined until after the World Cup due to any injury. For comments and coverage of newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on Planet 101FM.ng and follow us on Twitter at Planet_101FM. You can also like our verified Facebook page at Planet 101FM. Uyo, the news was edited by Jane Owa. I am Bright. James, good afternoon and thank you for listening.